The Leo and Danny Show.
So, wow. So, I want to hear what happened to your mom a little bit about the demonic possession. If it's too difficult of a thing to talk about, I understand that too. I'm sure.
There's, and this isn't, I guess, a plug because it was released, 8-9 years ago. There's a film called American Ghost Hunter. It's a documentary that is about this whole situation with my mother and I, and it was exactly what you hear. Like I was, I'll try to shorten this up because I've done hour-long talks about it. But basically, my father, we lived in Southern Texas, like a suburb of Houston, and he was.
They're from Houston.
Oh, nice. I'm a Texan at heart still.
Yeah.
But my father was in an explosion. He was he had engineered a concrete company, and it burned him over 3/4 of his body, 3rd degree. He was supposed to die. They took us in on 2 separate occasions to say goodbye to him. He miraculously lived, and he was atheist when that thing began.
Do you mind talking a little bit more?
Sorry.
Yeah.
He was atheist, and he claimed, the first time I ever heard him talk about spirituality or anything kind of esoteric like that, he talked about how my mother was suddenly showing up and or I shouldn't say suddenly showing up, but she was going to the burn unit, and at night she would stay with him. And the only place she could touch him at that time without hurting him was his head. And he claimed that she was healing him. And I remember listening to this story just going, what the fuck do you mean? What are we talking about, But I didn't want to question it because it was working. So it was like, whatever. My dad just passed away a year ago. Love you, Pops.
Rest in peace.
But he... he made it through it, and he preached to me that he had this, this awakening spirit and and suddenly he became just very open to that. And then I hear we're moving back to Iowa where they were from, and that we were buying this house. We went to see this house. My dad, when he got out of the car, didn't want it, said he felt a sick feeling, didn't even want to go in to see it. And my mother was sold on the house.
Jesus.
Went home that night. I remember the argument of him sitting in the living room just saying, Deb, look, I just want to look at some other houses. And she walks out with a 2x4 and lays it across the back of his head. What? And I'm just watching this, just going,
your dad? She
my mother did to my dad.
She hit your father with a 2x4.
Yeah.
That she found on the ground somewhere.
My dad was a craftsman and
Okay.
all that stuff. It was just out in
So she attacked him. First time she ever attacked him.
Yeah, for even suggesting that we look elsewhere.
What the fuck?
Again, there's a lot between here and there, but we ended up buying the house. The 2 previous families before us, we later learned, sold it because it was haunted.
Oh my God.
Crazy long history to the house. The whole area, come to find out that every friend I eventually tell about this has their own haunted story. And the town that I'm living in is incredibly haunted.
Why?
And well, it kind of it partially goes back to do with that Native American thing, specifically what occurred. If you look where Omaha, Nebraska is, and some of the most brutal hauntings that I've ever heard of are all in that area. Mm-hmm. And look, as the Western Front advanced and kept pushing the Native Americans back, if you look at Omaha, that river, all you got after that is Western Nebraska and the Rockies. You got to have a water source to live. Mm-hmm. That was the last line of defense. So the worst genocides that I just sat down with living members of the Wind Clan of the Omaha tribe of Indians and kind of asked them about all this, and they were just like, "Yeah, no, that's what happened." And it's funny. I said, could it be possible, like spirit influence is possible? Because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on in Omaha right now. I just interviewed police officers that are like, yeah, we're getting crazy calls to houses for haunted stuff and nothing's there. And, I remember sitting down with this mother that I talked to, and she gave me chills when she said it. I was having lunch, and I said, so why do you think that, people are having such a hard time now? And, is it due to these genocides and all this stuff? And she goes, I think because the pale face fears the spirit world. And she stops and she goes, we are the spirit world.
Jesus.
And it just gave me chills because I was like, oh my God, we got into this even more.
Mm-hmm. Paleface is an offensive term.
You are a paleface, Dan.
I don't like that.
That's what she calls
Austin is a paleface.
Well, and listen, they got, you want to talk about a group of people that have a good reason to be upset?
Native Americans.
Pretty brutal, man. What went down, and a lot of it I didn't even know until I got into their conversations about what they know.
Yeah.
And
You
so
hear
there's
that,
a lot
fat
of that.
women? Some people have legitimate gripes, not you.
I know, I feel like I'm getting too serious for a Danny Mullen podcast.
No,
it's
we like
okay.
this.
I
We
like
like
it.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
locked. I'm
Me
locked
too.
in. I want to go back to.
But
So
the house.
that's why
Yeah.
that area was perhaps haunted. It kind of reminds me of It. Isn't It?
Yeah, that's what it's about.
The
They
haunting
had
in-
a horrible burning of a bunch of. Was it Native Americans?
I think a factory exploded. I think it was all white people.
I'm not familiar
Okay,
with
but
that
that's
story.
why that place was haunted.
Yeah, the town, or maybe it was a
Well,
flood.
it's in
killed a bunch of
Potawatomi
people.
County, which specifically the Potawatomi were known for ornate shallow graves. And there's in Potawatomi County, people don't realize when they're driving through Iowa and you see Sioux City, Des Moines, Omaha, Potawatomi, those are Indian tribes.
Right.
They took
Hey,
their
we're
names.
going to Iowa, dude. We got to go to Iowa.
You know what I mean?
got it now,
They-
yeah.
They took their names. That's you know, I mean, they stole this.
Would you come to your hometown with us for a video?
Oh yeah.
So what
I
happened?
would, I would take you guys back there to some places.
Dude, let's go,
I'm
dude.
down.
That would be
Blow-
sick.
seriously, I'll take you to the Axe Murder House. I can get you in there.
Oh,
That will blow your
yeah.
mind.
We'll
That
bring
place is-
Austin. Will be our priest.
Oh,
Bring him
yeah,
as a fighter.
yeah.
I could show you footage from there that'll blow your mind.
Dude, let's do it.
I'm kind of down. But Chet, I want to hear. So your mom cold cocks your dad with a 2x4.
Yeah.
Where does it go from there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was obviously upset, and you know, my dad was such an awesome dude, man. I mean, he used to just always preach to me that, you know, being a man means control. It means that you don't bully people. You stand up for the bullied. You know, you don't hit women. You could, even if they can hurt you, you can take it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you don't. And there was times where I was just like, dude, knock her the fuck out. Like, what? Why are you taking this
Yeah.
abuse, man?
Yeah.
She was
You
like,
know what
I mean, with a 2x4, it was a little.
Was there more stuff going on?
Yeah, dude. There was tons of fighting.
And this
they
was
got
all, this
into.
all started from the moment you
All
saw this
started,
house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
she
don't
saw
really
the
have
house.
any childhood memories before that of that.
So she got demonically possessed at that house.
Yeah, and it's such a long conversation as to how that happens, but I did start noticing the things that people talk about, the little things that you see all the time that are like, what's going on? Part of it is just like everything's in the eyes, man. You know, how you feel, how you like you can just if someone's drunk, high, possessed, whatever, like you it's all there. And there was just conversations I would have with her that it's like, hey, you're not you. Like, what is going on right now? You know? And it's like shit that no one could, you can only personally experience it, you know?
Of course.
And things started happening in the house that my whole family started talking about weird stuff they were experiencing, and I wasn't. And I was just like, just I'm in the water in Persia, Iowa here is like, you know, why is everybody, you know, into shit that I'm not experiencing? One day I was home alone. My parents took off, went to this town, Harlan, Iowa, to get groceries. I was alone. I walked through every building of that house, and I'm still flat out atheist, non-believer. And every room of that place, I went in and I was like, I fucking dare you. Do something. I ain't seen shit.
Right.
You know, just walking around the whole time.
I like that.
Provoking like crazy.
Yeah. We
I'm
should
like-
be doing that.
Like nothing happened
Yeah.
until that night.
Oh, God.
I'm literally getting ready to go to bed like any other normal night. I was in a room that was here, and diagonally, my brother was in a room that went that way. And right when I lay down, I'm talking right as I put my head on the pillow, it just sounds like someone, I mean, if I hit that wall as hard as I could with my hand, that's what happened above my head against the wall.
Just like God.
Whoa! And I just like sat up, it's like, what the?
Jesus.
I run into my brother's room, he didn't hear it.
What the fuck?
I'm like, that's impossible. I'm just like, it just shook everything in my room.
oh, my God.
You know, and he's just like,
That's funny. You reminded me of something that I used to say was my paranormal experience. I do have something that I think was very strange that happened to me in my room, and a lady did die in my room. It was my dad bought a home. It was a foreclosure.
His prom date.
You son of a bitch! It was a foreclosure. An old lady died of natural causes in the room that I slept in. That I basically grew up from the time I was 8 until I left for college. Now this is all that happened, and maybe it'll make sense to you. I distinctly remember closing the window before bed because my dad was always watching unsolved mysteries and shit, and it was probably bad for my brain. But I was like, I don't like the window open. It's because it was towards the front of the house. I was like, there could be access into my room. So I closed the window and I locked it. I woke up around 3 a.m, right in the middle of the night. My bed was moved from the wall about 3 feet. And in a diagonal kind of way. Like, I don't even know how I would have done it with my hand. Like, it just moved a little bit diagonally, but the edge of the bed here was about 3 feet from the wall, and the window was open.
These things happen all the time.
These things happen, right? But there's nothing. I hope you were like, oh, there's this one ghost that always does that. He fucking puts it, and I would be like, oh, shit, it was that guy.
Well,
You also could have sleptwalked.
I could have sleptwalked,
Well,
yeah.
you gotta
And I have
remember-
sleptwalked before.
The difference between a ghost and a demon, most people don't really like apply this, is a demon is a non-human entity. It's never been human. It's not. That's not. Ghosts are
We're
humans.
humans. They're humans.
So yeah, there's things that happen all the time, and a lot of times you just like. I hate the term paranormal because it implies it implies that activity is weird or something, or it's above the norm. There's weird stuff going on all the time. It just doesn't matter to your brain.
Right.
I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. If you've ever bought a new car or even a used car, suddenly you notice everybody else who's driving the same model of car you are. You can pick it out like crazy.
Yeah.
That's your subconscious because it's important to you
Yeah.
now. So now it finds it.
Yep.
It's the same thing with paranormal events.
Gotcha.
Weird shit happens all the time. But people,
don't
it's not
notice it.
important. And the brain's job says not important. And it moves it, So... like I said, we're on a spinning electromagnetic ball going through the blackness of the.
It's weird.
None of this stuff can make total sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that weird stuff happens all the time.
Gotcha.
So a black figure approached the guy at the Amityville whorehouse. That's staying with me here.
I know, man. And we haven't even really gotten into the depths of your mom's demonic possession. I mean,
No.
What is? Give us like just one. Probably the worst night. Give us the worst night of her possession. I'm sorry to even do this to you, but
Leo Dottavio DM'd her. I don't know.
Look, I know it's like there's
Bitch.
things I could talk about. It's just like, and of course it hurts to talk about it because we don't have a relationship today because of it.
really, is she
And-
doing okay?
No,
Jesus.
no.
Can we go
And-
visit her? Maybe we could fucking solve this on video. That would be the best thing ever.
She doesn't want to see you in the flesh, Leo.
Yeah, no, it's
Well,
not.
maybe she
yeah.
does, Danny. Why would you say that to me? Am I getting older?
Well, but a big part of the reason I like talking about it too is because again,
think I'm
unless you
biblical?
experience this stuff, it's really hard to wrap your mind around it. But like, what is I guess the worst night? The Warrens initially send out when I was she was 16. The Warrens sent out before they would go places. They would have teams that would go see, is this real?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's not.
Right.
A lot of it's not.
That's just
It isn't.
bullshit,
It's true.
yeah.
There's tons of hoaxing that goes on in this field.
Right.
90% of what you see on television is hoax.
Bullshit,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Right. So it's like they came out. These guys came out, and their job was to determine if it was real, and if it was, to let the Warrens know. And in that American Ghost Hunter documentary, you see their notes. And when they came out, they right away just started provoking like crazy. And dude, it was like a bomb went off. It was like a paranormal bomb went off. And yeah, my mother for 3 days was in a bedroom talking in voices that weren't hers, speaking in languages she doesn't know. And when you're sitting there, I mean, what do you do with that? You know what I mean?
I think what you're saying is getting possessed is a good alternative to Rosetta Stone.
I mean, look, if
That's
I
actually
could
funny.
snap my fingers and know Latin,
Gotta find a ghosty, Leo. Go.
But what's really interesting about the notes I brought up, so at the end of it, you would hope for like a good notes, right? Like, hey, maybe a little haunted, but I got a solution, blah, blah, blah. Or they're just kind of, or maybe she's just losing it mentally.
Right. That's what I was gonna
their
ask you.
notes were, we ardently affirm the serious nature of this situation, that we deem this a devil strength diabolic infestation.
Jesus.
That was their notes. And they listed everything that they personally had witnessed, from objects levitating to bleeding.
Quick prayer from Austin or Dino just right now. I'm feeling a little, I just don't want that demon to come into this room. Quick prayer. Come on, guys. Come on. Throw something at me.
Ghosty, give us a prayer.
Come on.
Bruh, I'm a fucking demon. You want me to say a prayer?
God damn it.
Fucking, you son of a bitch,
I
Dino.
thought we were
This
gonna
was
get a prayer.
serious.
I thought we were gonna get a prayer until
This
we
was
went
serious.
yo.
I was feeling a little overwhelmed right there.
This is scary stuff, man.
Yeah, come on, man.